Whether you're completely new to the franchise, or a seasoned veteran, it can be hard to keep up with every single detail of these all-powerful creatures children can control. I mean, there are over 80 of them now. But no need to worry, as I've condensed every legendary and mythical Pokemon's lore into a single sentence for you to understand. Legendary Pokemon looks like the bird from Rio and can make it snow even in the middle of the desert. Big Bird from Sesame Street lives inside a giant thundercloud which it can control at will. Bird takes the phrase "I'm on fire" way too literally and enjoys taking baths in volcanoes. South American cat with invisibility has the DNA of all Pokemon inside it. South American cat that was heavily tampered with before being born, accidentally maxing out both its strength, evil, and spoon-wielding stats. Lion causes mass evacuations when it roars because every time it does, a volcano erupts. Leopard with the ability to walk on water leads a guy on for years only to choose the protagonist over them. Saber-toothed tiger perishes in a burning building with 2 other Pokemon and gets their reboot card picked up by a big chicken. Said big chicken, who likes picking up reboot cards, grants eternal happiness to those who see it. So smile, I guess. Dragon-looking creature hides in the sea to shield the world from its immense weather-controlling power, but is neither a dragon nor a water type. What you would receive if you gave an onion sentience and the ability to time travel. A living block of ice. A living block of metal. Ancient boulder golem crafted from rock by an all-powerful being, sealed away by an ancient civilization, with modern research theorizing it has neither a heart nor brain. Jet plane dragon that understands human speech transforms into a human to flirt with Ash? Let's take that jet plane dragon and make it blue. The embodiment of land, basically a walking dirt block that summons droughts, drying up entire oceans. Whale that embodies the ocean itself has the power to turn everywhere into England. Groudon and Kyogre's parental figure lives in the ozone layer and only comes down to yell at them to play nice. Shape-shifting space virus that arrives inside a meteor actually makes Rayquaza do something other than be a babysitter. Only wakes up for 7 days every 1,000 years to grant wishes. The best work-life balance ever. Responsible for humanity's willpower, and the driving power behind every motivational video ever. Responsible for humanity's emotions, and can emotionally manipulate anyone that tries to attack it. Hashtag girlboss.
But you know what I like a lot more than materialistic things? Knowledge.
Magma underneath Mount Coroner is given sentience in the form of a frog? Crab thing? Crafted the 3 Reggies and pulled the continents of the world with ropes, so kind of a big deal, unless it's the first 5 turns of a battle. If you remove the hedgehog part from Shadow the Hedgehog, murders children by putting them in endless nightmares, quote, as a defense mechanism. Bird's feathers are the only cure for Darkrai's nightmares, and is basically Darkrai's #1 op. Chonky Flower Hedgehog becomes less chonky when exposed to this specific flower. Very rare ocean dwelling thing can only be obtained by drawing many circles in a spin-off game. Ditto's failed attempt to clone the very rare ocean dwelling thing. The God of Time, which is why God Reversed is dog. The God of Space, which is why God Reversed is horse? Pokemon's equivalent of Satan gets banished to live in a dimension of upside-down waterfalls where time and space don't flow. The Pokemon avatar of the big man upstairs who would rather send children hundreds of years into the past than cure world hunger. Insanely powerful Pokemon knows 2 signature moves and can grant other Pokemon insane power to win every battle. The leader of the Swords of Justice, a band of Pokemon that hate humanity and love banger music. The brains of the Swords of Justice, which is probably for the best as it has an attack stat lower than Pig Knight. The brawn of the Swords of Justice destroys castles and crushes bullies in its spare time. Horse gets separated from its parents because humanity, but is adopted and raised by the Swords of Justice only to become stronger than them. Controller of Wind does nothing all day but ruin both farmers' lives and VGC. Tornadus' arch nemesis does nothing all day except fight Tornadus and start forest fires. wildfires. The Rayquaza to Tornadus and Thundurus is responsible for growing the world's crops and reducing competitive Pokemon's player numbers. The final member of the Cloud People, who signifies the beginning of spring, was only discovered 10 years after the original trio was released. Original Dragon splits in half due to a brotherly disagreement. This half believes in the truth. The other half of a super powerful dragon that believes in ideals, but has never been that ideal in competitive. Husk of the original dragon keeps itself alive by freezing its dying cells and eating children. Original Dragon has enough of being a husk, so it captures and fuses with its brothers who abandoned it. Singer can accidentally get transformed into a dancer by singing the wrong song. What if we made a robot Kabutops? Wouldn't that be cool? Deer grants the curse of eternal life, but not too much, otherwise they turn into a tree. Hey, before we date, I need to let you know, I'm kind of like the embodiment of death, and I'll destroy the universe if I die. I hope that's okay with you. Snake gives balance between these two legendaries, but wasn't given his own game until I was halfway through writing this video. Snake gains new forms after you do a fetch quest in an entirely different region. The most beautiful Pokemon of all time is just a genetic mutation of Carbink. Genie's true self is sealed in a bottle and when unleashed can summon every Pokemon I've previously mentioned. A living, breathing, walking sauna. Happy Space Cloud gets stressed and opens up the portal to various Ultra Beasts. More on them later. Failed attempt at recreating God to fight off the Ultra Beasts. Failed attempt at recreating God receives the power of friendship. Part-time Island Guardian, part-time Storm Creator. Guardian of Akala Island is secretly a sociopath who has no regard for human life. Lazy Island Guardian destroys a whole village because someone built a Tesco on their sacred ground. The last of the Guardians creates mist that drives people insane by making them see dead people. Cosmog takes too many vitamin gummies and transforms into a ball heavier than Groudon. Cosmoem evolves into a lion, which is the embodiment of this image. Cosmoem's other evolution flies between dimensions, like how Taylor Swift flies between cities. Severely wounded aliens steals light from other worlds so they can one day regain their true form and become stronger than God. So, it turns out Solgaleo and Lunala have a lot of light in them. Scientist kills a myriad of Pokemon and feeds it to a Pokeball to create artificial intelligence. Ghost turns itself invisible to sneak into martial arts classes until it eventually surpasses the teachers. Their father is a volcano, their mother is electricity, and they are a cat. Liquid Metal turns other metal into liquid and drinks it. A bunch of Meltan melted together. So it's basically that fake Kling Clang Mega Evolution. Dog defends its home turf by carrying a sword in its mouth like so. Different Dog defends its home turf by carrying a shield around its neck. Alien Dragon causes Pokemon to become big and also transforms into a hand, which doubles as the strongest Pokemon of all time. Quite possibly the least legendary ever. It's just a fighting bear. Fighting Bear read an ancient scroll and became every VGC player's worst nightmare. Articuno, except silence brand. Zapdos stopped flying and started fighting. Moltres but evil, literally gives people depression if they try and approach it. Ball of Electricity has to be physically restrained, otherwise we'd be back in the Dark Ages. Regigigas tried creating a dragon, gave up, and this is what we're left with. Ice Horse can't move fast, so it freezes the ground around it to slide around. Ghost Horse can't see very well and stumbles around stealing others' life force. Forgotten Ancient King possesses people and takes control of one of the two horses depending on which type of carrots you decide to plant in a random field. Deer carries a bowl on its head so heavy it split open the earth. Random beads cause so much envy, pain and suffering that they manifest in the form of a goldfish? Sword breaks in half after killing various people and transforms into a cat. A snail formed from wooden tablets and leaves that are as dead as this meme. Sandwich-loving dinosaur rules over an ancient kingdom with the power of fake wheels. All-terrain robot dragon uses lightning to turn the land into ash. Dog with 0% muscle mass gets manipulated into becoming a Peach's personal bodyguard. Monkey eats mochi to inhibit the power of
knowledge.
Pheasant sneaks into Ogre's home along with Dog and Monkey to steal masks, but the only thing they take away is their own lives. Ogre beats Dog, Monkey and Pheasant to death for attempted robbery, and becomes the reason kids can't go out at night. Look at that face. Pure evil. Poisonous Peach manipulates literally everyone except the person that everyone thought was being manipulated. Turtle wakes up, introduces a new type, creates an infinite time loop, and refuses to elaborate. Alright, that should be every legendary Pokemon. Oh yeah, there is a big debate on whether the Ultra Beasts are considered legendaries or not. You've got evidence for, you've got evidence against, so I've decided to include them but separate them from the main list, in their own little Ultra space, if you will. One of many said Ultra Beasts has a habit of spreading neurotoxins to hot women and then merging with them. Bodybuilding Mosquito enjoys flexing and drinking Snorlax? Cockroach possesses power to make any Pokemon it hits start simping for them, unless their name is Beware. Sentient Christmas Lights. Paper Kite accidentally cuts down whole forests because its body is too edgy. Half bamboo, half rocket ship. Walking black hole devours everything it sees, including entire civilizations. Ever wondered who aliens would receive as their starter Pokemon? How come the aliens get a starter Pokemon that evolves into a dragon type? Whole load of living Minecraft blocks band together to craft a fortress. Or should I say they stack together. Ghost Clown sneaks up on people, blows up its head, and steals the life force of those who get scared. And that's the full list.